Everybody having a great experience at Lamar Ford. We became number one for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
South Shore residents that love good food are making the short trip across the lake to Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. North Shore folks have known about Gallagher's 527 for years. Now the South Shore has discovered this hidden gem. One of the metro area's best restaurants is less than 30 minutes away. Take the quick trip across the lake and experience Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. As good as it gets.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again. Ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters' 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now.
Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet, Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City.
Let's get this thing going on a Fantasy Friday. Kaboom goes the dynamite. Yeah, you right. Corey Johnson back at you. You are on the neutral ground for the next 2 hours. Fantastic. But before we get things going here in New Orleans, let's go to San Diego and Drew Brees. What can I say? Number 9's correct. This is indeed New Orleans. It is a Friday. Gotta love that. A Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Thanks so much for checking us out. So many ways to check out the program. Old school, new school, everything in between. We got you covered. Thanks for checking us out on YouTube. Click to subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson. Hey, thanks for checking us out on Twitter. Old X. At Corey Johnson. Corey spelled K-A-A-R-E. K-A-A-R-E. At Corey Johnson on Twitter. Right now, live on Twitter. On X. We're on the radio. Oh, so fine. 93.9 FM. Oh, so fine. 93.9 FM. You can also check us out on the other end of the FM dial, New Orleans' own 107.9 FM. Talking about old school, we're on 600 AM right now. You head to the Mississippi, Alabama, Gulf Coast, Florida Panhandle, 600 AM will take you there. You're heading in the opposite direction, Baton Rouge and beyond. 600 AM will take you there. I told you, old school AM. 1560 AM over there on the North Shore, Slidell, Diamond Head, all that area. Got you covered. Hey, we're on TV. The first 90 minutes of the 2-hour radio, intranet device, social media program, the first 90 minutes on television. Cox Channel 4. Cox is still the number one TV provider in Louisiana. Cox Channel 4 statewide. Metro New Orleans, Metro Baton Rouge. What up, Capital City? Metro Lafayette, Cajun Country, Bayou Teche. Got you covered. We're also on the Charter television system, a.k.a. Spectrum. Spectrum Channel 333, Slidell, Covington, Mandeville, Thibodaux, Houma, Opelousas, all over, Hammond. Spectrum 333. Hey, the best way to check all this out, to find out where we are on, YouTube, Twitter, radio, television, all of it, just go to my website, Corey Talks. Oh, yes, he does. CoreyTalks.com. I think you can even misspell Corey. I think you go CoreyJohnson.com, and it'll steer you to that. You can misspell Corey, Corey, talks.com. It'll steer you to Kaare. Corey spelled Kaare. CoreyTalks.com has all the info where you can check us out, links and the like. Fridays with Fletch. Going to have a real good one with Fletcher Mackerl. Tulane 1-0, fresh off their win against Northwestern. They're beeline in 2 hours east down I-10 to Mobile, Alabama. Taking on South Alabama tomorrow night. We'll get a little look back and preview on the wave from Fletcher Mackerl. LSU, what a great road victory at Clemson. The Tigers' defense is back for the first time in years. Lots of athletes flying around the field, making plays. Yeah, they got some talent on that LSU team, SEC talent. We'll get a look back and a look forward. La Tech at Tiger Stadium tomorrow night. And, of course, a preview of Sunday in the Dome. Saints hosting the Cardinals of Arizona. Fridays with Fletcher Mackerl from Channel 6 in just a few minutes. Yeah, you right. Hey, they're open till 7 tonight. They're open tomorrow. They're open all day Sunday. If you need a great pair of prescription glasses or a great pair of sunglasses, do not go to the mall. Do not go to the chain store. Don't order something online and you got to try it on at home and you're not going to like it. Go somewhere where you can touch, feel the merchandise, put them on, pick out a bunch of different frames, narrow it down to one frame you want. They got a great staff that's ridiculously helpful. Some of the most stylish eyewear anywhere. Eyewear that's as unique as you. It's called Art and Eyes on Magazine. If you need prescription glasses or sunglasses, Google them. Art and Eyes on Magazine. Yeah, Fridays with Fletch in a few minutes. Michael Hecht from Greater New Orleans Inc. is going to join us as well. Michael Hecht, Greater New Orleans Inc. Hopefully with some good economic news. Scott Craig, Katie's. He'll be checking us out. Scott Craig. It's kind of like Fletch and I. It's a couple of yats chopping it up. We'll talk all kind of stuff. Food, sports, New Orleans. Speaking of New Orleans, Channel 4 held a sheriff's debate last night. Michelle Woodfork is the favorite. Edwin Shorty looked good. Edwin Shorty was pretty damn impressive. I would not sell Edwin Shorty short. He could be sheriff. Someone that can't be sheriff, that's proven she can't be sheriff, is Susan Hudson. Still living in denial. Absolutely crazy. It wasn't a breakout. It was a let out. Still implying it was politically motivated. Yeah, Michelle Woodfork and Shorty kind of took offense to that. And then Hudson's like, oh, if you feel guilty about it, that's your problem. It's like, what? What did Michelle Woodfork have to do with the jailbreak and insinuating that, or Edwin Shorty had something to do with the jailbreak? It's on you, lady. It's on you, Susan Hudson. Snap out of it. Take some responsibility for once in your life. Seriously. Just pathetic. All these wannabes that, are nothing sharp. They're not some sharp tool in the shed. I'm not saying she's dumb, but she's nothing special, just plain Jane. All these folks that in New Orleans city government, in Louisiana government, that are just painfully average, if not sort of a dim bulb. And we have them in leadership positions. And with Susan Hudson, it's learn on the fly, learn as you go, and has no idea what she's doing. Empowering people to do things that have no idea what they're doing. No, it's just endless with her. That cyber attack yesterday, again, she's like, cyber attacks happen anywhere, could have been anyone. No, the Office of Inspector General years ago suggested you get on this. It's an acronym, BRASS. It's the city's financial network. BRASS, stands for something. Anyway, BRASS. It's every city entity, every department's on it, except the sheriff's department. And the OIG suggested you get on it. She didn't do anything. A year later, the OIG says get on it again. And by the way, the software you are using is like expiring. And when software expires, cyber attacks can happen a lot easier. There's no protection. So Susan Hudson is responsible for yesterday's cyber attack for not converting the financial system that the Orleans Parish Sheriff's Office uses to this BRASS system that the rest of the city uses. So yeah, just as incompetent as it gets. Sad. Ed Ogeron, he was hinting, I'm getting the itch to go back to work. No, you're getting the itch to go back to work because you have to go back to work. A Louisiana Supreme Court ruling, they back up the lower court. Ed Ogeron has to come up with $8 million for his ex-wife. She's entitled to half his settlement. He got 16 plus million as head coach of LSU to leave the program. And a lot of that money was like, be quiet about, sexual abuse and things like that happened under your watch, the previous coach, all of that. So he got 16 million to walk. He was happy as can be. 16 million bucks. He buy a lot of hamburgers, I think he said. And then there's Ed Ogeron the last few years, just in Malibu, in Los Angeles, in Miami, jogging, down there, either living down there or staying at a hotel, whatever, spending money. And that's fine. I don't give a crap what he does. I'm just saying it's a few years later, living the high life, probably burned through millions of dollars. Thought he had this other 8. Now he's got to give 8 to his wife. And no, Ed Ogeron's probably going to have to go coach D-line and help recruiting for some program somewhere because his wife's picking up a cool $8 million, and the Louisiana Supreme Court ruled in favor of that. Oh, boy. This is going to backfire like the ICE raid at the, where was the racetrack? In Eunice? Well, not in Eunice. Where is the racetrack that they made? It wasn't Evangeline Downs. It was and it wasn't Louisiana Downs. It was the other racetrack in the little small town in Louisiana. It's like, it's going to cripple that small town. And racetracks around the country that rely on illegal aliens, if you want to call them that, migrant workers that aren't documented fully in most cases. These tracks are going to freak out. So the president, somebody in that administration said, don't go after the horse racing industry. Some folks that own the tracks that are probably big MAGA supporters said, President, you're killing us. Well, this concerns me. ICE raided a Hyundai facility outside of Atlanta. They arrested 475 at a major Hyundai plant in Atlanta, right outside of Atlanta. We're getting a steel mill, $5 billion steel mill right up the river that Hyundai owns. Hopefully this doesn't affect that. Fridays with Fletch. Fletcher Mackerl joins us next. Tulane, LSU, Saints. A lot to talk about with the Channel 6 sports director. Yeah, another edition of Fridays with Fletch. Michael Hecht right after that. If I were you, I wouldn't go anywhere. We got a lot to cover on this Fantasy Friday. Corey Johnson with you. You're on the neutral ground.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Outdoor dining, Middle Eastern cuisine, under the oak trees, Lebanon's Cafe, some of the city's finest lamb chops and shish kebab, Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn, Lebanon's Cafe.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com.
Word is, one of the best restaurants in New Orleans isn't even in New Orleans. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. Cross the lake and taste what you're missing. Tuesday through Saturday. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
Yeah, you right, Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you. Thanks for joining us on this Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Fridays with Fletch. Fletcher Mackerl is going to join us in a second. Stick around for that. Fridays with Fletch. No, we got a lot to discuss. Football is here. We got college football just every single weekend through Thanksgiving. Then a week after that, you get all these conference championship games. And then about 2 weeks after that, bowl games start rolling. So with the exception of just a week off here or there, college football's rolling through the new year till the college football national championship game in the first few weeks in January. Pro football, rocking and rolling all the way through February. Every week, regular season, playoff, Super Bowl, from now till February. So enjoy it because it's crazy. Like I talk about like on the weekends, on a Friday, I'm like, hey, in 5 minutes, it'll be Monday morning. in like 15 minutes, we'll be halfway through the Tulane and LSU season. We'll be in mid-October like that. Summer will be gone. We'll have nice weather, and we'll already be halfway through the season. It goes so quick. It's crazy. Time flies. And the Saints, it's 17 games, but still, it's going to go fast. Saints might go a little slower. Go a little slower. I'm hoping for progress. I like Kellen Moore. Looks like he's a good coach. I want sound coaching. The Saints don't shoot themselves in the foot. But the Saints are going to win like 3 or 4 games. I think the over-under at 4.5. I think the sucker bet for you gamblers that like to bet, the sucker bet is the over. Oh, the Saints are going to win 4+. They got enough talent to win 4+. The number one player on the Saints team might be that left guard, the rookie from last year, the second-year player. Alontae Taylor at cornerback, Alvin Kamara at running back. It starts getting hard after that to name quality Saint players that could go start for any team in the league. There are just not many of those. And when you almost can equate that type of player, like an all-pro, an all-star, that type of player, an elite player, how many you have equates to like wins. Like JT Gray, the not Pro Bowler, but all-pro returner. The Saints released him. He got picked up. Who picked him up? Was it Baltimore or someone picked up JT Gray? I forget. But that's going to cost the Saints probably a win. And I'm not saying like that's such a, major loss, but what it is, it's one of your few all-star, Pro Bowl, all-pro type players. And you can almost count those guys and come up with how many wins an NFL team's going to have, literally. Look at the teams that, like Kansas City. Look at Kansas City. Look at any of the teams that are doing really well lately. And they're going to have like a dozen of those players, like a dozen. You're going to be able to rattle them off, 10, 12, 15 players maybe, literally. And that's why they're a playoff team and they're good. When the Saints under, Sean Payton were going to the playoffs and winning 10, 11, 12, 13 games a season, they had about 8 or 10, 12 very good players could start anywhere, like 10 or 12. When Peyton's teams went 7-9 3 years in a row, I remember going through the list of the great players. It was like that center from Seattle that Jimmy Graham was traded for. It was Drew Brees, obviously. Kamara wasn't with the team yet. I want to say I came up with 5 players during that 7-9 3-year run, and the 5th player was Thomas Morstead. So when your punter is your 5th best player, you got a problem. And there was no 6th or 7th. It ended at Morstead. So the Saints just don't have a lot of star players. They don't have a bunch of all-star players. They don't have a bunch of elite players. They simply don't. I mean, you want to make it DeMario Davis, Cam Jordan. I love those guys. But as Jim Finks, the old GM, would say, they're long in the tooth. They're getting old. And they're not going to start for a lot of teams because of their age. I hope they play like young again. I hope the young players play like experienced players. I hope Rattler establishes himself at quarterback. I mean, if that happens, there could be an over going on. I just don't see all those things lining up. I just want to see progress. I want to see a team that doesn't shoot itself in the foot, doesn't hurt itself, doesn't have a lot of penalties. For some of you, I mean, it's like the old-timer talk. That first Jim Mora team in the mid-'80s, 40 years ago, they went 7-9, but they never got out-coached. They never shot themselves in the foot. They were in a bunch of games. They won some games they should have lost. And a lot of the games they lost, you could tell just the other team was a playoff team. The other team had a lot of talent. The other team was used to winning. So, but 7-9, I was like, damn, they're not there yet. They still need more players, but that was a pretty good year. Best record Saints ever had was 8-8 one time. So 7-9 is pretty damn good for a team that's been terrible for 20 years. So it showed progress and promise and hope and some players that, damn, these players are good. And some other players like, they're going to be good. So that's all I want to see with the Saints. I'm not worrying about playoffs or record, any of that. I think the Saints are going to win like 3-4 ball games, tops. I think they're going to get some games. It's going to be like 10 minutes to go in the first quarter, and it's going to be 14-0, 10-0. Like the team's going to get the kickoff, drive the field, score. Saints are going to go 1-2-3 punt. Other team's going to get the ball and score again because they're a playoff team. They're a 12-13 win team. So the Saints are going to be out of a handful of games in the first quarter. The Saints are going to be out of a handful of other games like by halftime. And the Saints are going to be out of another handful of games in the third quarter. Just game over already. Dominant team, no way to catch up. That's going to be, 10, 12 losses right there. And then they're going to have a game or two, I think they're going to win that maybe they shouldn't. And then I think they're going to have some games where, they lose a tight game. But they just don't have enough guns. They don't have enough players. They don't have enough great players that could start anywhere in the league. And then someone like Alvin Kamara, you're like, is the offensive line going to be good enough? Is Rattler going to be able to throw the ball so it frees up, a stacked line on defense where Alvin Kamara can run? So there's just so many variables about like an Alvin Kamara. Is he going to be an elite player? He's not in the NFL's top 100 this year. So when you don't have these players, it's almost you can count the elite type players, and that's how many wins you're going to have. And I have trouble coming up with more than like 3 or 4 super elite players that could start anywhere, anytime. As the season goes on, some of these players are going to emerge. I just think the Saints are like a 4-win ball club. LSU, I ended up going with my heart like 10-2, but 10-2, that's where I have LSU. Tulane, I've got them 11-1. I got them 11-1, sweeping conference and maybe losing either Duke in a couple of weeks or Ole Miss. I think they're going to beat Duke. I think they're going to give Ole Miss a lot of trouble because it's in Oxford, but the following week in Oxford, Ole Miss plays LSU, so they might be overlooking the Wave. Anyway, Tulane, 2 hours down the I-10. Get on the train tomorrow. Drive to Mobile, Alabama. It's a 2-hour drive. You know the deal. Mobile has some nice restaurants, some new hotels downtown. Stay in Mobile over Saturday night. You could book a room right now and go check out the Wave. Tickets still available. I think there are going to be a lot of Tulane fans there because I think some Wave fans, a few thousand, are going to travel. Coupled with a lot of New Orleanians live down there, Fairhope, the eastern shore of Mobile. So I think you're going to have some Wave fans at this game at South Alabama. And I had John Sumrall on the program on Wednesday. I don't think the Wave's going to overlook South Alabama for Duke. I really don't. He just brought up so many examples of that rat poison where, he talked about, wasn't even at Tulane. He was coaching Troy. Tulane beats Kansas State, their first Power 5 win. The next week, they lose to Southern Miss. He knows this. It was at Troy. He mentioned Troy beating LSU. The next week, losing to South Alabama. So he's going to be spewing all of this to his team, keeping them focused on the task at hand. They're not going to be looking forward to Duke. I think they're going to give South Alabama all they can. LSU has like a preseason game against La Tech, but Brian Kelly said it. I just mentioned LSU losing to Troy, Troy beating LSU, and then the next week, Troy losing to Southern Miss. So if LSU is looking forward to the SEC schedule and treating the game like what I just said, like a preseason and exhibition game against La Tech, they will lose. But if LSU shows up, they're going to win. And I don't doubt LSU is going to show up because there's so many new players in so many places. The way they played against Clemson, they want to build on that. Blake Baker, the defensive coordinator, was saying stuff like there were so many mistakes on defense. When the players see the film, they're going to be sick. They're going to be nauseated. It's like, wow, I saw a great defense, swarming, making plays left and right. So I love Blake Baker with that kind of comment because I saw a dominating defense and he ain't satisfied in the least bit. Saints at Arizona. How big of a win would that be for the Saints? The Saints are the largest home underdog this Sunday in the NFL, getting 6.5, almost a touchdown at home against Arizona. Like on a neutral field, because the Dome, you get more respect than just the 3 points. You get like 4 from the Vegas guys. On a neutral field, Arizona would be favored by like 10. And they're saying like in Arizona, it'd be like a 12 or 13 point line. 6.5, Arizona favored over the Saints. If somehow Arizona overlooks the Saints, I mean, one thing publicly, I mean, you look at these power rankings, the Saints are like 30th, 31, 32. Over under with all the adjustments, I think they have the lowest over under win total, 4.5 in the entire NFL. A lot of this has to be getting to Arizona, the coaches, the players. They can't be going, boy, we got a formidable opponent with the Saints in the Dome. They're probably thinking we have an easier first game opponent. Let's stay focused. Let's not overlook, but maybe they're not focused. Maybe they do overlook. It'd be a huge way to start the Saints picking up a victory on Sunday.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex, there's something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We do in all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience. Right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
South Shore residents that love good food are making the short trip across the lake to Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. North Shore folks have known about Gallagher's 527 for years. Now the South Shore has discovered this hidden gem. One of the metro area's best restaurants is less than 30 minutes away. Take the quick trip across the lake and experience Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. As good as it gets.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. It's all about more, and it's called more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again. Ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters' 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now.
Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Yeah, you right. Corey Johnson back at you. A Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Hey, every week this segment coming up with Michael Hecht from Greater New Orleans Inc. brought to you by Latrim. the global manufacturing giant. What an incredible New Orleans story this company is. For literally decades and decades, all they've done is grow, and not just locally, not regionally, not nationally, but internationally. They're on every continent with that shrimp peeling machine, with the all plastic modular conveyor belt. They employ over 1,400 in Elmwood on about 100-acre campus, literally. And they employ a few hundred more on the North Shore at their I-12 facility. For a full listing of positions available, go to Latram.com. Latram spelled L-A-I-T-R-A-M. Latram.com. Michael Hecht from Greater New Orleans Inc. knows all about Latram. Michael, if we had a dozen Latrams, we'd be like Austin or Nashville, wouldn't we?
Yeah, no, Latram is an incredible company in terms of both innovation and culture. I was actually with a guy this morning who was one of the original managers for Latram for their modulated conveyor belt division.
Wow.
And when he was there, he said there were 12 people in the division. Now it's like 1,200.
It's absolutely genius, the all plastic modular conveyor. But I tell people, it's like, you remember the spiral notebooks? You'd put two together and run a pencil through it, and the two would hold together with the pencil. Imagine that notebook just being a solid piece of plastic, and the metal rings are plastic. And then you loop two together and take an extruded plastic rod, that's the pencil, and that's what holds those panels together. J.M. LaPierre was a genius, Michael.
Yeah, no, he was literally a genius. I mean, it's a company based on innovation. Started with the shrimp peeler,
yep,
and gone from that. And it's who they are and what they do, and they continue. But and it's also there's a culture there that I haven't seen in many other companies of just no nonsense excellence. And so they end up hiring a lot of people who don't, they didn't set out and go to college and say, I'm going to be in the modular conveyor belt business. But they meet the company and the culture, and that's what they go for. So they're kind of a sponge for talent.
It's amazing. Like, remember when we were kids, the old, conveyor belt, like at the grocery store, that like black rubber belt with the metal staples. These shrimp peeling machines are like stainless steel, and, it's seafood going through there. So you have to clean them right at the end, and you're using probably some harsh chemicals or products to clean it. And it was destroying the belts. So J.M. LaPierre goes to the conveyor belt companies, different ones, like, build me a better belt. And they don't know what to do. So he's like, I'm going to build my own belt. And now the shrimp peeling machine, if I was the owner of that, I would be, a multimillionaire, and I'd be the king. But that is just a minuscule part of, what Latram does. Intralocks, the all plastic modular conveyor belts, that's 90+% of their business.
Yep. They also have, my favorite part of their business, though, is the LaPierre stair. Do you know the LaPierre stair?
Oh, of course. Alternating tread stair, of course. Genius.
I saw somebody had one of them in their house.
Yeah.
I was so jealous.
No, like a stainless steel one leading to a loft or something. I've seen that in Lakeview and Uptown. The LaPierre stair. I mean, that's another great invention he came up with. JM was just a genius. It's like, the best way I describe it, Michael, it's halfway between a ladder going straight up a wall and a full staircase,
Right.
but because it's alternating tread, you could walk up it carrying a box.
Yeah, that's what he did was, apparently the story is that he was thinking about doing this. So he went to his mom or his wife's cabinet, pulled out the flour, put flour on his feet, and then walked upstairs and saw where he actually stepped.
Wow.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. You don't need the left when your right foot's down. You don't need the right when your left foot's down. He eliminated that, made the staircase a little steeper. And I mean, if ships, industrial sites, and I'm driving across the causeway, Lakeway 1, 2, and 3 right there, from that garage to like the building, you can see a yellow LaPierre stair on top of the garage if you look close. They're everywhere, Michael. Anyway, Michael Hecht, you still there?
I am. I'm just thinking about LaPierre stair.
Hey, what other companies?
I feel like that was the final word.
Yep, no, exactly. What other companies besides Latram are these monsters in New Orleans and have been around for a while? I've mentioned, what is it, Peller and Milnor, those folks that it's like a Volkswagen Bug size washer and dryer for industrial places.
yeah, those guys. I mean, Canal Barge. They just got a big investment, but they've been around for 4 generations.
Yep.
Massive organization. I'm trying to think in the manufacturing space, the other ones that are big that are still around. Pool Corp. It sells pool equipment. That's that kind of a
No, but
thing.
still, it's
They're a
amazing
Fortune
that
1000
North Shore
company.
company's a monster, Michael.
Yeah, it's a monster. It's only they don't sell much in Louisiana, but they're headquartered here, and they're Fortune 1000. They're massive.
Yeah, it's incredible.
We have a lot of other great companies, but some of them are in service, like Pan American Life.
Yep.
Huge company, fantastic company.
No, I've been a part of New Orleans.
here.
Yeah, been part of New Orleans forever, employing hundreds. Still in that downtown building, the Pan American Life Center right there. No, it's that we if we had more of that stuff, we'd be taking off like a rocket ship.
It's important. So I was talking this morning saying that we got to keep starting these new companies, and they could be in anything. They could be in service. They could be manufacturing. Because the older companies they're going to get acquired, they're going to merge. Things happen. It's unusual to have a 100-year-old company, so that's why all the stuff that's going on in entrepreneurship is exciting. We're doing much better. We have a lot more venture capital now than we used to. We've got some of these angel networks like Gulf South Angels that are really growing, and we got some companies now that are beginning to do awfully well. I mean, some of them are in the medical device space. Some of them are in software. But, that's something that we kind of haven't traditionally had. But since Katrina, it's been slowly growing, and it's important.
Michael Hecht with us from Greater New Orleans, Inc. Hey, Michael, the governor has used you a few times to help out things. The latest and greatest was the Super Bowl. You were like the point man in New Orleans. I was on that commission with, I guess, about 50 other people coming up with things that needed to be fixed and addressed in the city. The list was like 550. You guys knocked out about 500 of them. And then you said, we're going to kind of try to keep that mentality. It's hard when there's not like a Super Bowl. What markers do you use for that? And then how do you create a sense of urgency when that marker might not be something as big as a Super Bowl?
It's, to be honest, Corey, it's been harder than I hoped. There was some momentum, early on, getting towards Essence, using Essence Festival as the next goal. But, Essence was not the Super Bowl, like you said. And then since then, frankly, with all the stuff that's been going on at City Hall, it's been hard. But the good news is that the next mayoral candidates are all of them talk about, reinstituting the Super Bowl model. And that's really what we want, because it's a generic thing. It really is about just, having a goal and having the weekly meetings and just generating the excitement around getting it done. There's no magic to it. I mean, the Super Bowl was a sexy target, but you could just do that. Hell, in New Orleans, we have something big happening every month. So it just requires a culture of winning. Things are kind of petering out now.
You may have to. You might have to put one of your people at Greater New Orleans Inc., like Landry did with you, and make them that person, and that's all they do, or hire someone, and that's all they do. Hey, every 90 days, we're going to come up with some significant event, and that's going to be, and we're going to have a sense of urgency, and we're going to come up with a list, and we're going to try to knock out, 90% of that list, like you did for the Super Bowl. I think that's the only way we move ahead. We love, we struggle to get things done. Then when we get them done, we don't have like the maintenance or, the upkeep element implemented. I mean, we'll go, I bring up this as an example, and it's kind of wacky. Those gardens on I-10 in the east, in the middle of the interstate. They'll go weed them. They'll plant some, pampas or crepe myrtles, and it looks great. And then there's no one ever maintaining it. I drive by there and I'm like, every day, Monday through Friday, there need to be 2 people on their hands and knees that just crawl up and down that damn thing. And because it's always needing to be weeded and upkept. But we build it, we plant the stuff, and then we leave like it's going to take care of itself. I mean, I could come up with 100 examples of that, and
that's right.
We're not good at the maintaining part. That needs to be.
The only place that I think that I can point out where we've done a good job so far, and I do mean this, is the airport. That's a difficult airport to keep clean because everything is white and a lot of it's matte white. But whoever's doing the maintenance there now, I think is doing a good job. I think the airport always feels fresh, looks good. It's not always perfect, but it has not been allowed to deteriorate.
You know, it's amazing, Michael. But I mean, besides the airport just kicking butt and taking names, and everybody loves it. First impression of the city's fantastic. I mean, the old airport's like you're flying in old LaGuardia. It was like, oh boy. So that's a positive. But what's kind of blowing me away, even me, you know, the fact that concourse at the existing terminal towards the east is going to be built, and then a brand new terminal west of the existing terminal in that big like tarmac area, another terminal with another dozen plus gates, and then this road inside the airport where you can get to, you know, the rental car facility, and maybe even concourse D of the old terminal, getting something going there. I mean, I'm blown away that how quickly this airport's taken off and how quickly we need to expand it. That almost seems un-New Orleans. Like, you know, the next expansion would be like 2040. They're talking about getting this done by 2031.
No, and it does show, just like the Super Bowl, that we can do it. We can do it. We can build it. We can maintain. We can expand. It just requires, focus. It's not impossible. But yeah, the airport, keeps growing. The British Airways flight's doing well. I would love to add a few more international flights, but as long as it keeps growing and expanding, I'm happy wherever they're flying to. It's a pleasure. I go to DC a lot, and man, I'll tell you, flying from New Orleans to DCA, that's about as convenient as it gets.
Nice. That's good to hear.
Up to the airport, park short term.
Yep.
Get on one of those smaller planes.
Yeah.
Land at Reagan.
Yeah.
And you're at the Capitol in 10 minutes. It's
the Lamar Automotive Collision
Hang on,
Center.
Michael. We're going to come right back.
We
Corey
fix
Johnson with
cars
you
and
with Michael
trucks.
Hecht.
We
Don't
do
move.
all makes and models, and it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof, now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamar Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
Word is, one of the best restaurants in New Orleans isn't even in New Orleans. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. Cross the lake and taste what you're missing. Tuesday through Saturday, Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you.
When USA Today ranked the 10 best must-visit New Orleans restaurants for travelers, Mid-City's own Katie's made the list. USA Today says Scott Craig is chef-owner at Katie's, a much-loved Creole Italian eatery that draws armies of regulars for lunch, brunch, and dinner. A neighborhood spot where locals congregate and New Orleans-style hospitality rules. Indeed it does. Katie's in Mid-City.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years. serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again. Ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now.
Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
Yeah, you right. Welcome back. Corey Johnson with you. Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Michael Hecht with us from Greater New Orleans Inc. Every week that's brought to you by Latrim. Michael, Spirit Airways, a key player in New Orleans. We like these guys. I know it's a low fare airline. I've never actually flown on Spirit, but I like how New Orleans is sort of a mini hub. We don't have any of that. And they were adding flights all the time. Now the opposite. They're going bankrupt. That doesn't mean they're going anywhere, but I don't think they're proactively adding flights. They might be reducing some. I saw what United stepped up and was going to have a nonstop or two to cover Spirit's not covering. Where are they going? I think nonstop. I forget where. Maybe Houston. One more Houston nonstop, and I forget the other one. But
I mean, I think the good news is that the problems that Spirit is having are not because their routes are not working. So, if they stop, other airlines are going to swoop in and fly the same routes, maybe at slightly higher prices. I don't know what Spirit's issue is. It's pretty unusual to have a company reorganize multiple times in the same year. Like I don't really understand what explains that. But the fact that United stepped right in and took them means that they're good routes. And if they're good routes, somebody's going to fly them. So that's good to know.
Yeah, that is good to know. So not a big concern there. Obviously, you'd like to see Spirit be ridiculously successful because of the connection to New Orleans, but you're not worried about some large number of flights or nonstops ceasing to exist.
No, not really. No. I'm not.
Good.
I think that, the tourism numbers are back up to the pre-COVID numbers. So people are showing up here. I think that the fact that we're so much safer now is slowly getting out. The fact that the French Quarter looks good and smells good. I think we're going to be able to keep Ivy Waste in there. They do an amazing job. So, people are asking me how I'm feeling about things. And I say, looking forward, considering how well we've done despite some challenging circumstances, I'm pretty optimistic about where we are. Charity's going forward. River District's going to go forward. We're redeveloping. The NSA finally. Even Plaza Tower is going to get done.
Wow. No, that's 4 big ones right there. Poland Avenue, Plaza Tower, the River District, Charity Hospital. Those are, you just ripped off about a few $1 billion, $3 billion maybe.
Oh, that's exactly right. And, those are ones who kind of struggled for a long time. Even Municipal Auditorium, man, slowly happening.
Yeah, no, at least they're shoring that up. No, that's spending $42 million there. And maybe that Lindy Boggs thing finally gained some traction on Doc Francis Parkway over there.
Yeah, the Lindsey Boggs one, that's really been a long time coming. I don't understand exactly what the issues have been there. It's such a incredible location.
Yep.
You think that one would be easy. And also, it's really a drag on that neighborhood. That neighborhood's doing so well. I hate to see that there. I gotta talk to the guys that are behind that and see what's going on.
Yeah, because you go to like Carrollton, and down Bienville, there's all kind of businesses, leading right up to Lindy Boggs, retail, apartment complexes that are brand new, all that. And then you got this thing on the end that's kind of keeping that area from taking off.
Yeah, no, it's strange.
Hey, Michael, I would imagine the train to Mobile, Tulane's playing South Alabama in Mobile tomorrow night. I would imagine tomorrow's train's going to be packed with Green Wave fans taking advantage of that.
I'll tell you, I took the train this last weekend, and it is a blast. It is so easy. You just park and go. It's like $25 round trip. They've got a bar car. It's clean. The seats are huge. The scenery is actually beautiful, particularly on the way out as you go through Bayou Sauvage.
Yep.
Highly recommend if you're going anywhere on the coast. Beats the heck out of driving.
Now, when you're going through Bayou Sauvage, you south of 90?
You are south of 90. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're really out there.
You're out there in the Gulf almost. It's incredible.
It's beautiful.
Wow. Hey, Michael, there's talk of that route being expanded. So far, they're talking west, like maybe to Baton Rouge or Lafayette or something like that. I think about east, like Pensacola, Florida, Jacksonville, eventually maybe to Orlando and Disney World, that type of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think the ultimate idea would be Houston to Orlando.
Are you kidding?
Just take it, all the way. I think the next one most likely will be Baton Rouge. That's a part of the route that we've been working on for a long time. But hell, certainly if that went out to Florida, you have to change it to the Sunshine Express. When it went out to Pensacola, or all the way out to 30A, and if you could take it down to Disney, I don't know exactly how the route goes out there, but yeah, I think that driving is getting more and more expensive. The train, if it's a good experience, is inexpensive and fun and safe. They've got good internet, so it seems like a no-brainer to take it. I know that the numbers have been good so far.
I think you could stick with the Mardi Gras name. From Houston to Pensacola, they're celebrating Mardi Gras.
No, I agree. I don't think you change it.
No, just because, and we already got what? Sunset Limited. You got the, train to New York, train to Chicago, train to LA. Having a train to like Miami, that would be pretty damn impressive.
That would be, yes, it would be.
Yes.
I suspect that this one working so well is going to encourage Amtrak, to take it even further.
Yep, no doubt. Michael, before we let you go, any singles, doubles, triples, home runs, grand slams on the horizon?
Let me see. I just was given a quote for something today. Let me pull it up. Hold on 1 second. Let me see what that was for. Oh man, let's see.
Well, you can walk in. I know you can walk and chew gum at the same time. I'm going to throw this out while you're searching for that.
Thank you.
ICE raided a Hyundai facility outside of Georgia. They arrested 475. I think that's just so counterproductive. Like, it was like the racetrack in Louisiana. I think MAGA folks are going to be like, dude, I own the car plant. I work for that. And they're not going to raid car plants. But it got me nervous about the steel plant,
Yeah, no, look, it's not productive. I think we've seen that basically the economy, the recent numbers came out, they're not looking that great. I think everybody, wants to secure the border. That's a bipartisan.
Yep.
Every normal person wants to do it. But this going and raiding people who, have been working in our factories, whether quote legally or not, this is the way the system has worked for decades.
Yep.
And just summarily, doing this, I don't see how it helps anybody.
No, I don't either. It's like I said, they keep, once they hit the MAGA-owned industries, that stops. They're not going to go dairy farming and stuff like that, meat packing plants.
That's right. That's when it's going to stop. That's exactly right.
Hey, Michael, have a great weekend. We'll visit next Friday, brother.
All right. Who dat?
Who dat? That's Michael Hecht from Greater New Orleans Inc. That's Blue Boy barking up a storm. Corey Johnson with you. 5 o'clock power hour next. If I were you, I wouldn't go anywhere. A lot more coming your way.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 5 p.m.
Boy.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamarck team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamarck Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. My Sittu, that's Arabic for grandmother, used to make the best football kibbe. You can experience kibbe just like my grandmother used to make, and so many other Middle Eastern favorites on the streetcar line. Lebanon's Cafe.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on magazine, as unique as you.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots.
South Shore residents that love good food are making the short trip across the lake to Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. North Shore folks have known about Gallagher's 527 for years. Now the South Shore has discovered this hidden gem. One of the metro area's best restaurants is less than 30 minutes away. Take the quick trip across the lake and experience Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. As good as it gets.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again. Ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now.
Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love. More. When you do something, you have to do it right. You know, it's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Yes, and yes. Corey Johnson with you. Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Cha-ching. Bada bing. Kaboom goes the dynamite. Yeah, fired up, huh? Big weekend. Tulane, LSU, Saints. Football, fall, September. About 4 weeks left of summer heat and humidity. It is New Orleans, Drew Brees. Yeah, about 4 or 5 weeks. But by mid-October, it'll all be in the rearview mirror. We got 2 seasons in New Orleans, summer and the non-summer season. The non-summer season's about 4 weeks away. We're zeroing in on about 90% of the summer in the rearview mirror. Yeah, I'll take that. Although it's getting dark now around 7:30. I like, the June, late May, early June, July, where it gets dark around 8:30. So that's the only bummer, less daylight. But boy, the heat and humidity going by the way, like 90 plus degrees today at times. It was a scorcher. in the sun. And then it was weird. You know, I'm like in the Carrollton section of Uptown Riverbend by the Sewage and Water Board, right by the end of Oak Street around there, by the Parish Line, by the Lowe's, right around there. Sunny, hot. I go over by Elmwood earlier today, and there are puddles in the street, and everything's soaked. Like they got a downpour in Elmwood earlier today. I'm like, crazy. By my house, I'd be like, no rain at all. Just weird how you get these, pop-up showers in and around the metro, but still hot. But looking at like the 10-day forecast, got like one day 90 degrees, and then every other day is like waking up mid-70s and getting into the 80s. Supposedly next week, meteorologists are calling it a cold front. I'd say it's a Coolio front, maybe a less hot front. Anyway, it's not gonna drop temperatures like into the 60s, but it's gonna drop the humidity down. So when it's 75, 78 and low humidity, it feels like the 60s. So that'll be nice. Anyway, we're slowly creeping out of summer. Like I said, by mid-October, in about 4 or 5 weeks, we'll be golden for about 5-6 months straight. Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Michael Hecht joined us last hour from Greater New Orleans, Inc. Got a good 5 o'clock powwow lined up for you. Channel 4 last night held a NOLA sheriff's debate. It was last night. You had Michelle Woodfork, the favorite. You had Edwin Shorty, who was pretty impressive. And nothing short about him. He's a big old dude. And then Susan Hudson just, learning on the fly. We can't afford that in a city like New Orleans. Susan Hudson just living in denial. I mean, just a joke of a person. Just a kind of a pathetic individual. Hiring friends and family. And I'm going on and on. That the woman who had the job for like 180 grand, no one knew what she did. Hires her son who was disbarred for a year, a lawyer who couldn't practice law, hires him making obnoxious amount of money, like as a contractor, like 40, 50 grand in a few months. Taxpayer money. What they did, no one knows. That Kristen Morales gets fired from the Office of Inspector General for theft. Appeals it to the Civil Service Commission, loses, goes to court, loses, appeals that decision, loses, costs the city like 50, 60 grand in legal fees to defend the legitimate case. She got fired for theft. No one's arguing that except Kristen Morales and her buddy, Susan Hudson, hires her right away as her like Mr. Spock, her number 2. Making like $150 a year, more than she made at the Office of Inspector General. So work for the Office of Inspector General, get fired for theft, and Susan Hudson's going to hire you right away if you're pals. They lived together. They were roommates, might have had a romantic relationship. Who knows? Who cares about that? But the point is, I care when it's taxpayer money. Her roommate, her friend, romantic partner, whatever it is, hiring her, and she stole from another city entity. No, that's Susan Hudson's legacy. And the jailbreak and yesterday's cyber attack. No, the debate yesterday, she says it wasn't a breakout, it was a let out. And she continues to imply that it was politically motivated. And Woodfork and Shorty both took offense to it during the debate. And then Hudson counters back like, yeah, if you're feeling guilty about something, that's your problem. It's like, really? Why don't you take responsibility as the sheriff for the jailbreak that happened under your watch at the jail? I mean, it's mind-blowing. Like I said, Susan Hudson is living in denial. Beyond that, the cyber attack yesterday, of course, she doesn't want to take any responsibility for that. Cyber attacks happen everywhere, is what she's saying during the debate last night. Not once, but twice. Ed Michel, the Office of Inspector General, like in 2022, hey, the financial software and package you guys use isn't BRASS. BRASS is an acronym, and the city uses BRASS. Every city office, every city agency, they're all under this BRASS financial software. The sheriff's office isn't. The OIG said, you should be on that. That way, everything's out in the open. When you go to request money from the city council for needed funds, they can see where the money's coming and going, not you winging it like before where you went in there, didn't have your checkbook, but you want more money and couldn't answer why. Just crazy, just winging it. Ready, fire, aim. Ready, fire, aim. That's Susan Hudson. It's a joke. So the Office of Inspector General sends a letter in like 22. You need to be on brass. It helps everybody, including you. Nothing happens in a year. A year later, OIG to the sheriff, you need to be on brass. And by the way, this is all in this letter, second letter. You can go to the Office of Inspector General website and look at it and read it yourself. Hey, the software you're using, not only is it not brass, but it's about to expire. And when software expires, cyber attacks are much easier. Much easier. And this software expired. The sheriff belligerent because she doesn't want everyone to see where the money's going because she doesn't know where the money's going. She's just winging it. Hiring friends, spending money, it runs out. I need more. The jail's broken. The jailbreak because of this. Always excuses, always projecting it on someone else. And refusing to get on the brass financial software system that every entity in the city uses. And because that software that she is using expired, she's responsible for yesterday's cyber attack. She can't put one and one together, or she can, and she just either refuses to accept it, living in denial, or knows the truth and just doesn't want to take responsibility. Anyway, what an absolutely worthless public official. And I don't know how honorable of a person she is by all these excuses we hear. I don't see a lot of honor, pride, integrity, ethics, morals. The opposite. The opposite. Just another worthless public official we elected. And not only like worthless, like not doing the job, incapable of doing the job, all of that, but arguably crooked, setting up friends and family, all kind of nonsense. So Channel 4 had the sheriff's debate last night. No, just amazing that it wasn't a breakout. It was a let out, and implying like maybe some of the candidates, Woodfork or Shorty, had something to do with it to make her look bad. Susan Hudson, you look bad all on your own. You don't need Edwin Shorty or Michelle Woodfork or me or anyone else to help. You suck all by yourself. You're terrible all on your own. You don't need any assistance on that. Wow. Crazy. I talked to Michael Hecht about this last hour. I feel better about this. ICE raided a Hyundai facility outside of Atlanta and arrested 475. First off, I think this is just so silly. You go to every car manufacturing facility, dairy farms, meat packing plants, any farm anywhere in America from Florida to California, and arrest illegals, arrest migrant workers. It's not like this was some incredible investigation and we stormed in there and it was a coup. Every car plant, everywhere in America. So many different businesses and entities. Thank goodness so many of them are run by hardcore conservative Republicans who are firing back. Hey, Donald Trump, I support you, but this is crushing me and it's stupid. And he's backing off. He went after the horse racing industry and one track in Louisiana. I mentioned it. You're going to cripple that town. You're going to bankrupt that track. And all these other tracks around the country now are pooping in their pants. Next day, USA Today, nationwide article. Racetracks around the country pooping in their pants. Worried about an ICE raid. So no, I don't want Hyundai getting fickle and pulling back on this $5 billion steel plant they're building in Louisiana. Michael Hecht seems to assure me that that won't be the case. That's a blessing. Ed Ogeron, Louisiana Supreme Court, siding with the lower court, essentially siding with his ex-wife. She is due to receive $8 million from Ed Ogeron. Ogeron's like panicking now because he's blown through a lot of the money. He thought he had this $8 million, I can live high on the hog for decades. Now, half the money's gone, going to the ex-wife. What half he got, he's blown through a lot of that the last few years, and kind of proofs in the pudding just recently. I mean, is it coincidence or because of this ruling? Just recently, publicly, Ed Orgeron's like, man, I got the itch again to coach. I think I got the itch again to coach because financially you need to coach. Some team will hire him as a D-line coach. He'll do a very good job. They'll hire him to help recruiting. He'll do a very good job. When it comes to coaching the D-line and recruiting even more, Ed Orgeron's the real deal. D coordinator, head coach, a little bit, less than being able to handle that. Hey, it is a Fantasy Friday. Don't move.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots.
Word is, one of the best restaurants in New Orleans isn't even in New Orleans. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. Cross the lake and taste what you're missing. Tuesday through Saturday. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet. Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line. Lebanon's Cafe.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Trey Yen in Mandeville. A New Orleans tradition for over 40 years. Serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City.
Yeah, you right. Oh boy, I'm ringing that 5 o'clock whistle. Ching, ching, bing, bing. That 5 o'clock whistle, we do it every Friday a little after 5 o'clock. And we like blowing the 5 o'clock whistle because it represents something. 100% of the work week, pretty much in the books for 90% plus of the population. And 100% of the weekend smack dab in front of us. And what a weekend. Tulane, LSU, Saints, football is here. That 5 o'clock whistle every Friday, appropriately brought to you by Katie's in Mid-City, Iberville, Corner Tallahassee, the quintessential New Orleans neighborhood restaurant, a true taste of New Orleans, big portions, great for sharing, New Orleans specialties, old school, full of local fresh seafood. More is better, more of the good things. Why aren't you at Katie's right now? As New Orleans as it gets. Iberville, corner Telemachus, a mid-city mainstay. 5 o'clock whistle brought to you by Katie's. Speaking of Katie's, Scott Craig's with us from Katie's in Francesca Deli in Lakeview. What up, Scott?
What's up, homie? How you doing?
Hey, I call Scott and right away starts dogging De La Salle and the Cavaliers. Some kind of jealousy problem. What's up with that?
When you called me, what was the worst thing you said? It was something about bro. And you got to bring Brother Martin into it every time because you're so jealous.
That's not true. You were dogging the De La Salle Cavaliers when I called you. It wasn't right.
I never dogged De La Salle.
Yeah, you did when I called you. It was terrible.
It was wonderful. They couldn't beat us when I was at Brother Martin.
All right, stop that. Actually, Scott didn't dog De La Salle, but I did dog Brother Martin when I called him. That's a fact. Yeah, Brother Martin used to handle De La Salle pretty regularly. I've told this story where Jesuit, De La Salle beats Jesuit the first time in years, and Brother Richard gives everybody the day off on Monday. Like we had a holiday because we beat Jesuit in football. Literally, Scott, the greatest sign in high school football history. The next year, we're playing, it's De La Salle Jesuit at Tad Gormley. And on the Pan Am. And on the fence across, on the Jesuit side, it said, De La Salle, you will have school on Monday. I was like, ouch.
You know what, man? The only thing I remember about Pan Am, it was like playing on rocks.
Yep.
That field was so beat up. It's unbelievable. And now it's beautiful AstroTurf.
Yep. No, yeah, I remember some.
Normally wasn't much better.
No, I played
DJ was worse.
I played some soccer games on that field, De La Salle Jesuit, and played like in 35-degree weather on a wet field too, with ice on it. Always bumpy and rough, especially the middle by football season, just all dirt.
In like 77, we played Bonham, and it was pouring down, raining. And that's when they had Tommy Wilcox.
Wow.
And he was unbelievable.
He was the QB at Bonneville in 78. Yeah, you had 4K at Shaw, you had Tommy Wilcox at Bonneville, and you had one more.
Bear at South Lafourche.
No, and still one more. Bear at South Lafourche, 4K, Tommy Wilcox.
Tim Parrington at Jesuit.
Maybe, Timmy Parrington at Jesuit. I'm thinking of somebody else that
great.
was like a college player. Yeah, Wilcox ends up going to Bear Bryant in Alabama as a defensive back.
Right. It was unbelievable that they actually recruited him as a DB.
And 4K could have gone to Alabama, but I think they were unsure if he was going to play right away, so he goes to Ole Miss and played there. And Bobby Hebert went to Natchitoches, right?
He and I are really close friends. We've talked about it. LSU didn't recruit him, and he was all irritated with LSU, but he didn't want to go to Alabama because he wasn't going to play right away.
Yep.
But he went to Ole Miss and played right away.
Yep. And his brother Keith, I think, played linebacker at Ole Miss too. Yeah, buddy of mine played on the golf team at Ole Miss and is in the athletic dorm, and it was brand new. And he goes down to the basement. They had their own washer and dryers. And he washes clothes. He, goes upstairs to the dorm room, comes back down, empties the washer, and puts his clothes in the dryer. Goes back upstairs, comes back down. All his clothes are out on the counter, wet. And Keith Forcade's down there, and John, and Keith's clothes are in the dryer. And my buddy on the golf team's like, "What the hell, dude?" And Keith just goes, "I had to dry my clothes." And my buddy's like, "And you just pulled my wet clothes out and stuck them on the counter?" And Keith's like, "Yeah." So that's a true story. The golf team didn't get the respect of the football team.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Scott, you ready to get into it?
Yeah, brother.
Did you check out the Green Wave last week? What a great win over Northwestern. Just domination, man.
And I texted Coach Summerall right after, and he was awesome. He's such a good guy, man. Summerall, he's just a class act of the coaching world.
He is.
Class act.
Yep.
He's a great man, and Tulane's so fortunate to have him. And I am sure that they're going to do everything in their power to keep him there.
No, I hope so.
And they should.
and he loves it. He loves Uptown. He loves Tulane. I asked him. I had him on the show Wednesday. I didn't say you staying.
Loves New Orleans.
I didn't say you staying. You going any of that? I asked him a better question. That's the same question, Coach. When you're recruiting a kid and you're in the den with that kid and his parents, and the family asks you, "Are you going to be at Tulane next year?" What do you say? And his answer was pretty damn good. Yeah, I mean, isn't that a good question?
Yeah, what'd he say?
He said, I tell him, I had a 5-year contract, 6-year contract. And I tell him, I told Tulane, I want some more money, but not necessarily for facilities, but for the players, for my assistant coaches. And then I got my contract extended a year more, and I got all that. And both my kids were born in New Orleans. My first time at Tulane, both his kids born in New Orleans at Oxnard. I love the campus. I love, Uptown, all of that, making more money than I ever dreamed I'd make in my life, just saying things like that. So, I think, and then coupled with, I've turned down Power 4 jobs, plural. Now, supposedly he could have had the North Carolina job and, and they went with Belichick, but he turned that down. I've heard other places as well. So,
Big mistake.
Good answer.
Big mistake by Belichick. He's not ready for this.
No, he's not. But Belichick, Peyton, after Peyton left the Saints, I was like, man, all this guy did, he had Drew Brees, and now he's struggling. He struggled without Brees with the Saints. He struggled first year in Denver. He's like 500 record without Drew Brees. Now he's found Bo Nix. He found him. He liked him. Now Peyton's developing him. So I'm like, Sean Payton didn't develop many quarterbacks when he was with the Saints, but now he's developing, and Denver looks damn good this year. So Peyton's continuing with another QB, another team. Belichick, without the greatest player in the history of the league, kind of sucked. So you don't really know how good of a coach Belichick is without Brady.
He wasn't good at Cleveland, and he wasn't good with the Jets.
Well, he left the Jets immediately.
You're right. So, he left the Jets. So, what's he done?
No, all with the greatest player in the league. That's why I questioned Peyton with no Breeze, because he didn't succeed. But now Peyton's showing he can. I'm the Sean Payton you thought I was. Here's my new QB and my new team, and we're good. New England sucked those last few years without Brady, with Belichick at the controls. So, yeah, I'm not shocked. He's not going to go into North Carolina and just take over the college football world because he's some genius.
No. And I don't believe he is. And, Peyton wanted out of here in 2017 until he got a good draft class. The Saints have had one good draft class since then. They haven't had any since then. And part of that's Peyton's fault. They never drafted a quarterback. They never drafted anybody that could take over for Drew Brees.
No, never developed a QB. Never. There aren't quarterbacks scattered around the league that Peyton developed. None.
When he failed with Mahomes, he checked out, and I just don't understand why everybody loves him so much.
No, because of the Super Bowl and the success. He's the most successful.
Super Bowl. He should have won 3.
No, you're right. Scott, I agree with everything you're saying. I'm not like 110% enamored with Peyton. I'm irritated how he left. 3 7-9 seasons in a row in the middle where he was kind of absentee, that kind of thing. But, he hires Jeff Ireland. They start drafting good again, and they built the team up again.
Getting in with his girlfriend, all that crap. He wasn't a good coach.
No, I agree.
I don't ever think he was fully checked in New Orleans after the Super Bowl. I don't ever think he cared about New Orleans. He wasn't a New Orleanian. He's not like Summerall. Summerall is checked in New Orleans. Yeah. He loves New Orleans.
I think he was.
But he gets with this woman who doesn't want to be in New Orleans and blah 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 blah.
No,
I want to be here.
All that is
city.
true.
The city embraces greatness.
Yep.
And you get all the love, and he would have been historical here. He could have been so much better, but he was checked out. I don't think he ever did. I don't think he gave 100% after Bountygate. I think he checked out with the pill issue and all that crap. He just dumped all over Goodell, and he checked out. And until he got a good draft class, which he blew that too. They should have been getting a quarterback when Drew Brees was getting into his late age.
No, you're so right. No, and they never addressed that ever. And then he leaves with no quarterback, and then literally, I need a break, and then walking out the door, I'm ready to coach again. It was like weeks later, ready to coach again. I'm like, my God, I thought you needed a break. No, there's a lot of disappointment there, and there's no doubt, Scott. 15 years of Peyton and Breeze, only one time can Saints fans say we had the best team in the NFC. Only once. Only once. And they should have been NFC champs, like you said, probably 2 or 3 times and went to 2 or 3 Super Bowls. But they didn't for whatever reason. I mean, the 11 team, the 13 team, the 18 team, they all could have been Super Bowl teams. The
11 team was the best team they ever had.
Yep.
And he gacked against the Rams. The Rams hadn't won a game yet. They go up to St. Louis and lay an egg, and they gacked against the Rams, and that was the reason they had to go play in San Francisco.
No, I hear you.
They would have had the Giants at home, which they had beaten by 3 touchdowns earlier in the year.
Yep. No, it's good memory,
The
man.
Giants went on to win the Super Bowl. What a joke.
No,
There's no way
but a lot of
all-
folks.
It was because of Peyton not being checked out.
Yeah, I think that's a little extreme. I think those middle 3 years of 7 and 9 checked out, but I don't know if it was after Bountygate or whatever. And then he came back and coached well towards the end. And then at the very end, no Breeze. He was not doing much.
And he left us with a bag of rocks.
No, hold on, bag of rocks. I got to knock out a quick
For
break. Coming right
game-changing
back with
innovation,
Scott
look
Craig.
to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet, Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. It's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We do in all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience. Right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
South Shore residents that love good food are making the short trip across the lake to Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. North Shore folks have known about Gallagher's 527 for years. Now the South Shore has discovered this hidden gem. One of the metro area's best restaurants is less than 30 minutes away. Take the quick trip across the lake and experience Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. As good as it gets.
Hold on.
Welcome back. Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Scott Craig's with us from Katie's. Hey, Scott, I had John Summerall on the program the other day, as I said. One thing that I thought was pretty interesting, he's like, man, first game, we had no pre-snap offensive penalties. And he goes, for a first game in college, you're going to have that. And I'm thinking to myself, he's got 5 returning starters. Heavy recruiting, heavy transfer portal, including the quarterback. And that's how organized and well-coached Tulane is. I thought that was huge. Great point.
The whole coaching staff is first class.
Yep,
They
are.
all.
They are.
They
I
bring
know.
recruits to Katie's. They come here a lot. You know, he's a class act. He's the kind of guy you want to work for.
No, he is.
He takes care of his coaches.
He's a winner.
He's a winner.
And he's humble.
He's a big-time winner.
And he's nice, and he gets us, and he loves New Orleans and Uptown and the Tulane campus. No, it's the guy is pretty amazing. I think that I read something on Twitter earlier. I think he's going to play 2 quarterbacks at South Alabama.
Yeah, I think he'll be able to. South Alabama's got a good team. They're not terrible.
No, you
They
can't
can
overlook
play.
them. You
You need to
overlook
be
them,
careful
Tulane
with it.
will lose if they overlook them.
Oh, absolutely. But you've got to give your other quarterback a shot.
Well,
just in case.
The
It's like-
competition
it's
was
like-
supposedly so close.
I don't know, man. He's pretty good.
Oh, no, that kid from BYU is
He's
really
pretty
good.
good.
He's got some wheels on him too, huh?
Yes, he can run.
That 69-yard
He's a good
run was
player.
mind-blowing. He just outran
And I think
everybody.
BYU tossed him because he had sex.
Pretty much, yeah. Well, it was a rape accusation at first, and then the charges were dropped. Tulane apparently did their due diligence, and they brought him in. There was a letter in the hullabaloo from a female student saying Tulane's lowered its standard, that this guy, is accused of rape, and Tulane brought him in, blah, 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 blah. But I don't know. I'm not trying to dismiss the female that originally filed charges, but the charges were dropped. Tulane did their due diligence. I kind of think, it might be a regretful situation for the girl, possibly. And that what you said, BYU doesn't allow premarital sex for any of their athletes. And if they find out, you get, what do you have, a 7-game suspension or something?
But how is that enforceable, Cor?
Well, no, I mean, if it's a rape, it's going to be enforceable by the law. But the case was dropped, and then he's like, I'm not going to go with these BYU standards of this premarital sex and sit out 7 games of my last year in college.
And I mean, but he wasn't indicted. I mean, I don't know, man. If he wasn't indicted, then the rape didn't occur.
Maybe not. Maybe so. I'm going to, I give Tulane and the due diligence and the legal system and all that the benefit of the doubt. I don't want to dismiss the girl, but the girl isn't saying anything. It's a female student at Tulane that's writing about it. But, but
the female student at Tulane doesn't know what happened.
No, exactly. Just assuming that it was a legitimate rape case and it got dismissed because he's a quality athlete. And Tulane overlooked that when the kid left because the suspension wasn't because of that. It was because of premarital sex, which they don't allow at BYU.
Right. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
But whatever. Hey,
I don't know how that's enforceable.
No, I hear you. I think you bring up a good point, though, on the football side of things. Better not overlook South Alabama. I don't think Tulane will. I think there are too many new players, and that coaching staff's so solid. I think they are the one. I wish I played golf like that. They are one shot at a time. They're one game at a time. I do not see them overlooking South Alabama for Duke next week at Yeoman.
No. They won't do that. They're not going to overlook anybody. They're too good. The coaching staff's too good. They're not going to allow that.
That Duke game's going to be really good with Mensa coming back. The old QB got $8 million to go to Duke. Threw 3 touchdowns last week. That's a big game. The following week, Tulane's in Oxford against Ole Miss. Ole Miss plays LSU the very next week in Oxford. They might overlook Tulane a little bit, thinking about SEC and LSU. And Tulane is going to go up to Oxford focused. You know that. So I'll tell you what, in the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks, we're going to know exactly what Tulane's about, Scott.
They can beat Ole Miss.
Yeah, they can.
But they can't overlook Duke, and they're not going to overlook Duke.
They're not going to overlook Duke.
Anybody.
Nope.
But, they're going to know Mintz is coming, and Mintz had left them, and,
they take care of
right.
Right now they're 30th and 33rd ranked in each poll, respectively. They beat South Florida, they'll be in the high 20s in each poll. They beat Duke, they'll be like top 25. They'll be like 23rd, 24th in each poll. They upset Ole Miss and Oxford the following week and are 4-0. They'll be like 18th or 19th in the country. Yeah, exactly. Top 20.
15.
Yep. Pretty impressive. And then playoffs are fully in control of the wave. So 2 weeks from Saturday, because tomorrow is South Florida. A week after tomorrow is Duke. The week after that's Ole Miss. So in 15 days, there'll be 3 games played in the next 15 days for the Green Wave that pretty much dictate if they've got a legitimate shot for the playoffs or not. Pretty heady times in Uptown on Willow Street, Scott.
They can do it, but they need to show up against South Al.
Yep. No, you're right. Thank God you and I are, not on the team or coach, and we can talk about the future. But I think Sumrall and company, they're focused on Mobile, Alabama.
And like in Baton Rouge, they're not going to overlook Louisiana Tech because of what happened last year with Nichols.
They're
not going to fiddle around with that. But one of the issues is LSU doesn't have a true backup. If Nuss gets hurt, oh man.
Well, I'll tell you one thing one thing that looks pretty good. This revamped offensive line looks really good.
Yes,
they've got Durham looks like a good running back, and we haven't even seen Barry and some of the other guys. And this defense, Scott, for the first time in about 5 years, is a viable defense. It's an old school LSU defense that we're used to. A bunch of athletes flying around the field, depth on the D line, great cornerback play, great linebacker play. That Blake Baker's like, they asked him after the game, the defensive coordinator, how excited he was about the defense's play, and 231 yards holding Clemson, and so many rushing yards in the second half and all this, 32 total rushing yards, blah, 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 blah. Blake Baker's like, when the players watch the film, they're going to be nauseated on the stuff they missed. They're going to be sick. I'm like, listen to this guy, It reminds me of, I think LSU was up like 42-0 over like Middle Tennessee, and some DB screws up, and Saban is out there grabbing him by the face mask, just yelling at him on the sideline. I'm like, Coach, it's 42-0 LSU. I think it's kind of
doesn't matter.
I think exactly. I think it's the same kind of concept. I think the Blake Baker, I love it. I mean, he's like, the defense kicked ass, and he's being critical of it, and the players are going to be sick of what they missed. I'm like, so you're telling me it can go up another level? Because I just saw guys swarming all over the place, a bunch of athletes making plays, Scott.
I think the offense is going to be sick of what they missed, because I think that game was way better than 17-10.
Oh, definitely.
I think I just got to watch injuries. And I mean, they're very deep on defense. They're deep on offense. The running game, we're not sure. But, I mean, this team is going to be as Nuss and Durham go.
Yep.
I mean, he's a great back. But I don't know. LSU look really good.
They look really good.
Really good. And that was the warm-up game.
Yeah, no, exactly. So, you're right.
I think they're going to bury Louisiana Tech. Spread's like 37. I think they're going to bury Louisiana Tech.
Well, I think
they're going to, but they may not want to show too much either, because you got Florida the next week.
Yeah, the thing that one good thing about the transfer portal and all that, when you have so many new players, Scott, I think it's harder for a team to overlook another team. Like, you're still trying to tweak it. And these guys are all new faces. Like at Tulane, for instance, that QB's been on the campus 6 weeks. He's been in New Orleans for 6 weeks. It's pretty incredible. Sumrall mentioned it when he played in the game. It was his 38th day on the campus.
It's crazy.
Isn't it?
And I mean, the kid looked great.
The kid looked damn good. Yep. Anyway, Tulane and LSU look really good. I did see one. Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's one game in. But somebody, because it's social media era, had to come up with the playoff projection. It had LSU playing Tulane. I'm like, holy smokes. Could you imagine?
Can you imagine?
In a 12-team playoff.
And LSU's talking about how they don't need to play Tulane. You know, I was listening to Hunt Palmer before the games. This was a couple of weeks ago when the LSU Tulane thing had gotten kind of hot.
Yep.
And he just went on. He says, LSU doesn't need to play Tulane. Sure, it's great for Tulane, but LSU doesn't need Tulane. Not even thinking about how it's good for the state. It's good for, you know. He said, Tulane's like playing Louisiana Tech. And I went, how misinformed are you?
No, exactly. Well,
that's not Louisiana Tech.
Well, that's when you get just
Tulane's,
these biased LSU shows that are there to appease the fans. Nothing more nauseating. I'm like, I'm an adult. I can handle the truth. I don't want to be appeased and placated. I want the real information. It all boils down to, I think Tulane would have to, 3 at Tiger Stadium, 1 in the Dome, that kind of thing, something like that.
Well,
or, I'd love to see them play at Yeoman and just charge, thousands of dollars a ticket. I can't afford it, but some LSU and Tulane fans could. They put 30,000 there. It'd be incredible.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It would be incredible.
Yep. They may renew the rivalry.
They have to play it at the Dome.
Well, if I'm Tulane, I don't care if I got to go to Tiger Stadium 3 times. I mean, Scott, if I got to go to Baton Rouge on a bus and drive back with $2 million in cash, why would Tulane be complaining about that?
They shouldn't be.
Yep.
No,
LSU pulls like $10
LSU,
million a home game.
Once again, it does LSU no good. That's what they say. You know, they're not thinking outside the box at all.
No, they got to figure out the
LSU.
financials. Yep. A game at Tiger Stadium's $10 million for LSU. $10 million.
Yeah.
So you can't play at Yeoman unless the tickets are $5,000 a piece. And if you go to the Dome, LSU gets most of the gate. But Tulane's still walking with numbers they normally don't get, a few million in their pocket. Anyway.
Oh, it's huge. It would be huge for Tulane. But
yeah.
Why would LSU want to take a chance?
Well, we'll talk. Hang on a second. We'll talk about that on the other side. Don't move, New Orleans.
Look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again, ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters' 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now.
Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
Word is, one of the best restaurants in New Orleans isn't even in New Orleans. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. Cross the lake and taste what you're missing. Tuesday through Saturday. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville.
Total maintenance King. TM-JC.com, your cool spots. TM-JC.com, your cool spots.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
Outdoor dining, Middle Eastern cuisine, under the oak trees, Lebanon's Cafe. Some of the city's finest lamb chops and shish kebab. Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn, Lebanon's Cafe.
Yeah, you're right. Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you on a Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Every day this program brought to you by Lamarck Ford, the Lamarck Automotive Complex. Lamarck Ford, Lamarck Lincoln. If you need a commercial vehicle, Lamarck Crescent City Ford in Elmwood's got you covered. Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Scott Craig's with us. Scott, Arizona in the Dome. Saints are the biggest home underdog in the NFL this Sunday. 6.5 points, Arizona's favored. You know, the Dome, you probably get a little extra. It's not a 3-point, it's like a 4-point spread for the Saints because of the crowd. So on a neutral site, it's like Arizona by 10. And like in Arizona, it's like Arizona by like 12 or 13. So they're kind of a prohibitive favorite. I think the line's legit.
Did the line change because of Chase Young being out?
I don't know. I mean, why? You've seen lines higher than 6.5 now?
No, I haven't. But let me see. I haven't. But, you know, it probably won't. But that's a big miss, man.
Oh, no, that's a huge miss. Are you kidding me?
I mean, it's your defensive end.
I mean, Scott, I've talked about
6.5.
I've talked about this, and I believe this, or I wouldn't be saying it. I mean, it's just sort of a rough, you know, kind of guideline you can follow. But pick any good NFL team like Kansas City, any of the good teams. You're going to be able to take a highlighter on their roster and highlight like a dozen players plus, okay? With the Saints, you got Alvin Kamara. You got the left tackle, the rookie from last year. You got Alontae Taylor. You got, you know, maybe
McCoy.
Yeah, I mean,
center.
it's just very limited. So you've got like 4 or 5 guys, not a dozen. You can almost for every, you know, I'm talking like all pro, Pro Bowler, all-star type player could start for any team in the league. You can almost for every one you got, that counts for a win. And when Sean Payton and the Saints were winning, they had 10, 12, 13, 14 type guys like that. When Sean Payton's Saints went 7-9 3 years in a row, it was Drew Brees. It was the center from Seattle, you know, with the Jimmy Graham trade.
Right.
It was, I mean, I literally were counting them back then because I believe in this theory that I have. Thomas Morstead was like the 5th and final guy. That's why they were 7-9 3 years in a row. They only had like 5 or 6 players that could start anywhere that were all-star types. Right now, they've got about 3 or 4. And that's why I think they're going to be about a 3 or 4 win team. The teams that win 10, 12, 13, 14 games, they got 10, 12, 13, 14 great players that could start anywhere. The Saints don't have that. It's hard to win when you don't have great players in the NFL.
The Cardinals are one team that they could beat, and they're 6.5 point dogs.
Yep. What's that tell you?
The next 3 games, I think the 49ers now are like 8. This is the only team they have with the prognosticators, it's the only team that they have a shot to beat for a long time until they play like the Jets or the Patriots.
You talking about the Saints?
Yeah.
Why the 49ers? The 49ers are one of the better teams in the league.
Every game.
The 49ers are one of the better teams in the NFC. What are they talking about?
Maybe. 49ers had a lot of injuries. They might be.
You go to the Niners
49ers
roster,
is
Scott, with a highlighter, you'll be able to highlight 10 great players, you know?
Yeah.
I don't see the Saints hanging with the 49ers. I mean, Saints can beat anybody. The Saints are going to lose a lot of games to teams, but I just think, you know, no star players or a lack of many, a rookie coach. All I'm looking, I don't care about the record. The over-under is 4.5. I think the sucker bets the over. I think the under is the way to go. I think it's going to be a 3 or 4 win season, but I don't care. What I'm looking for is progress, that this team is well coached with the players they have. They don't shoot themselves in the foot. They don't lose games because of themselves. That's all I'm looking for. I remember Jim Mora's first team in '86. They went 7-9. That's what I'm looking for, Scott. They lost games because they didn't have the talent at the end. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, and seriously, Corey, they can't afford one injury.
Of course not. They don't have any depth, and they don't have. I mean, name me one position on that
They've
field.
already had one, and they haven't played yet.
Name me one position on the field that's really solid for the Saints. One position where they're really good.
Left tackle.
I mean, linebacker. I mean, when I say position, I'm meaning more like offensive line, linebacker, DB. There's not one spot. Kicker and linebacker might be their most solid position.
Yeah, the kicker is great. He's going to be kicking a lot of 60-yarders.
No, Groupie's good, and the linebackers look good.
Some of these rookies, Stutzman might be a really great rookie.
I think he's going to be really good. I think they're going to try to, hey, Demario Davis, sit a little while so you'll be great in the fourth quarter. You won't be worn out. You're older now. And they're going to have Stutzman come in. I mean, you remember the game Oklahoma Tulane last year? That guy had like a dozen tackles.
Yeah, if Kendre Miller stays healthy, he's got potential to be good. I really believe that as second running back.
Yeah, no.
He's going to play a lot, but he's got to stay healthy. If he doesn't stay healthy,
some players have to emerge for the Saints to be successful.
I did Eric's show last Friday, and I had Ross Jackson on, and I asked him, who's going to play tight end?
No, I got 2 injured tight ends.
You know, Ross and his very intelligent answers to questions. He said, well, we've got a couple of guys. It just doesn't look good, but they could surprise you Sunday.
No, that would be
one of those middle of the road teams, but they're still 6.5 point favorite.
Yeah, no, Arizona's
a 7.5.
Arizona's looking to go to the playoffs again. They're that caliber.
Yeah.
And we'll see what happens on Sunday. Hey, before we let you go, Scott, what you got going at Katie's tonight?
Oh, yeah, we have social crabs, Corey.
Nice.
We've got crabs. The crabs are back, and tonight, man, I had this right in front of me. And tonight we've got...
You got 20 seconds till Blue Boy barks.
We've got beautiful soft-shell crabs. We've got grilled lamb chops over a creamy goat cheese polenta, seafood stuffed shrimp over bucktown Alfredo, fried chili Thai ribs. We have a filet with loaded mash and asparagus. That's a choice Angus filet. And we've got for tomorrow and Sunday, we've got blueberry pancake stack with bacon. And we've also got our apple walnut French toast.
Wow.
So, along with eggs and everything else. We also have lobster ravioli tonight.
Nice. There goes Blue Boy barking up a storm, Scott. We'll see you at Katie's in Francesca Deli. Thank you.
Next week.
Yeah, you're right. Thanks so much, Scott. That's Scott Craig from Katie's in Francesca Deli. That's Blue Boy barking up a storm saying, have a great weekend. Roll Wave. Go Tigers. Go Saints. See you Monday.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 6 p.m.